Praise be to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Nakakadash, the Bohana to Zaid and the Apostle of Great Maidstone. Peace, blessing, salutation to Zakem, pushing this truth to the four winds of the heaven, without forgetting the confusion of faith who are joined to our rank. It is Brother Yosiao from Central Africa. We have a news here. We have a news here from Dina Amelia Calmet, an Edomite. This Dina Amelia Calmet, he bring good news, man. He collect all the weekly news and they bring it to you. If you are too busy or you are too lazy to go through this news, you can subscribe to this Dina, and at the end of the week he will bring all the news to you, and you can just watch, and he puts them and arrange them in a good way so that you can understand. So we are going to see this over 220 rockets fired towards Israel IDF. Expected 2 to 3 days of fighting. North Korea fire projectile. Fires a projectile. So North Korea is continuing to prepare for war. While the two sides of our people are sleeping, this other nation are preparing for war. So let's go to second Israel. And the name. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligent in itself, and when thou seest part of this time past, which I have told thee before, then shall thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen exit, uproar of the people in the world, then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and end, and the end is manifest, even so the time also of the highest had framed beginning in wonder and the power of work, and ending in effect and science. Okay? So in reporting this news, we are doing this to warn our people. We are being watchmen. We are being watchmen. As the scripture says, this is Isaiah 62 and 60. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem. Remember, Jerusalem is people before the first. There are watchmen in UK, watchmen in Asia, watchmen in America, watchmen in South America, watchmen everywhere. Which shall never hold their peace day or night. Yea, that we make mention of the Lord, keep not silent. So if you make mention of the Lord, you call in the name of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai, keep not silent. Don't hold your peace. This is Jeremiah. Jeremiah. Jeremiah 60 and 17. Also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. What is the sound of the trumpet? When we are doing this video, we are sounding the trumpet, we are sounding the shofar, to prepare you for war, to prepare you for Jacob trouble, to prepare you for perilous time which are upon the face of the earth. when all hell breaks loose, when the highest begin to reach this road, you will have no time, eh? You will have no time. Therefore, hear ye nation, and know, O congregation, what is among them. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of the south, because they have not hearkened upon my word, nor to my law, but rejected it. To what purpose comes there to me incense from Sheba, and the sweet cane from far countries? Your burnt offering are not accepted, not your sacrifice speak unto me. So it's all about the watchman. So if you see you are doing this to one the people, you are doing this to one the people. So all of this nation, they want peace. They say, why can't people hold the hand? Why can't people hold the hand? Why can't people together? Why can't this? Why can't Israeli and the Palestinian make a peace deal? Why can't India and the Pakistani make a peace deal? Why can't Babylon and the Russia make a peace? What is the problem? We can both hold hands, we can both work together to fight aliens. Like it was in the Cold War. You know what happened in the Cold War. In the Cold War, what happened in the Cold War is that what do you call him? If I'm not mistaken, it was Ronald Reagan and then Gorbachev, president of Russia. So Ronald Reagan said, what if we are confronted with aliens? Let us unite and fight external switches. Remember the alien angel. The alien angel from Yahweh. So Esau tricked, or America tricked this other nation into agreement. The other nation were angry during Cold War. They wanted to destroy Babylon. Babylon tricked this other nation by using the UFO destroy, which we call us as Israel we call them UFO, identified flying objects, not unidentified, because we know who are they. So Babylon is a good trick to this other nation. So they stopped the Cold War. But that was Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, because the elect were not fulfilled. But now I tell you, through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, the elect have already been saved. So this Cold War, which is hot war, there is no way Esau can escape from it. We can't come with a liar to stop this other nation. This other nation are angry. They are going to destroy Babylon. And the elect have already been saved. So the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh is about you. The spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh is not holding hands, saying peace. Let us all eat barbecue. Let us all eat swine. Let us all eat mouse. Let us all eat duck and turkey. Let us all go to Thanksgiving. Let us all celebrate Negro in slavery. Let us all exploit this Negro and they enjoy in peace. No. The spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh is about you, man. The spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh is about to judge this nation for what they did to the Israelites. So let's go and see. This is Luke. This is Luke 12 and 15. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. Yahweh is asking me. Do you suppose that I came to give peace in this earth? Like the Christian says, it is all about love and holding hands. No, that's not it. I tell you, man, he's telling you himself. But rather division. This division will start in a family level to a nation and a kingdom. So let me finish here and I will leave this video for you. Let's go to Joel. I love Joel, man. I love Joel, man. This is Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare for war. So the Bible is saying you over and over again, prepare for war. Wake up the mighty men. Don't listen to those Negro who tell you that the Babylon will be destroyed in natural disaster. No! The spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh is about you. That's why we call him the man of war. As a matter of fact, let's get that scripture before I finish with the word. Repetition is the mark of studying, man. Don't get tired of this scripture. The Lord, this is Exodus 15 and 3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. So don't expect Babylon to be destroyed with natural disaster. The Lord is a man of war. Babylon will be destroyed through war, nuclear missile. It's better to prepare. Don't listen to this idle Negro telling you there won't be war. Planet X is coming, Planet Nibu is coming to bring hell, and they all like the news tell you that Planet Nibu is telling you the destroyer of the Gentile is Planet Nibu. No, the destroyer of the Gentile is the house, man. I rebuke that Negro, man. He is teaching our people to err, man. He's causing our people to err. He is saying that the destroyer of the Gentile is the Planet Nibu. As a matter of fact, I will get that. Lap the news is the first teacher and the first prophet. Don't listen to Lap the news. Proclaim ye among the Gentiles, Joel 3 and 9, wake up the mighty men. Let all men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshare into sword and your pruning hook into spear. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen. Let me repeat that again. Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Cause thy mighty one to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened. So, like the news is telling you, let the heathen be awakened. He's telling you that to awake to the understanding that we are the Hebrew Israel. Like the news is the first teacher and the motherfucker stupid, man. Awaken the other nation to war, man. We are not interested in them to know who we are. And anyway, they will know. And they come up to the val of Yehoshaphat, man. Judgment, not to awaken to the knowledge that is who we are. Talking about judgment, man. Talking about judgment. It's talking about judgment, man. For there are usually seek to judge all the season and the bulk. Put ye the secret of harvest is right. Came get you down, for the purse is full, the fat overflow, for their wickedness is deep. Multitude in the valley of the season, the valley of Yehoshaphat. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of the season. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the star shall withdraw the shine. Talking about the Martian cloud. The Lord also shall lower out in Zion in the utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heaven and the earth shall shake. Talking about the nuclear mission. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall ye know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my whole mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be whole, and Israel shall not stranger pass through her anymore. Like today, this Israel at IDF has been shot by 20 missiles. This is strangers who dwell in Jerusalem. Let's get that the story of the Gentiles and hit up the news to say that it is a punishment good. This is Jeremiah 27. The lion is came up from his thicket. Who have the totem of lion? Yahawashai, Yahawashai is the lion, the conquering lion of Judah, not Planet Nibu. And the destroyer of the Gentile is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make the land desolate. This is not talking about Planet Nibu. And the city shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. So that the news is telling you Planet Nibiru will come, it is hell, bring fire to make the earth desolate. That is the destroyer of the No! The destroyer of the Gentile is Yahawashai. Yahawashai is the destroyer of the Gentile, not Planet Nibiru. So let's listen to this.
Welcome back again, everyone. It's Dina Calmetta here with CWW7 News. And for today's broadcast, I do have some breaking news I'd like to share with you. I wasn't going to bring you a broadcast until Monday, but there's just too many things that are happening right now. So I felt to bring you this quick broadcast today and get you caught up on these headlines. And I first would like to talk about what is happening with Israel. The Times of Israel is reporting that 220 rockets have been fired at Israel. 2 have been hurt, and the IDF has hit terror targets, destroying the IJ tunnel. The European Union has called for rocket fire from the Gaza Strip into Israel to stop immediately and throws its backing behind efforts by Egypt and the UN to calm the situation. The spokeswoman stated that the rocket fire from Gaza towards Israel must stop immediately, and de-escalation of this dangerous situation is urgently needed to ensure that civilian lives are protected. IDF tanks and helicopters began attacking terrorist targets belonging to Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad in the Gaza Strip, managing to destroy an attack tunnel entering Israel from the southern part of the Strip. The tunnel was, until Saturday, under surveillance by the IDF. It was destroyed by fighter planes. A Hamas spokesperson in Gaza stated that the resistance is always ready to respond to the crimes of the occupation. We are committed to protecting our people and to deter Israel at all costs and under all circumstances. It goes on further to report that since the beginning of the weekend, 5 Palestinians have been killed according to Palestinian sources. The Gaza Health Ministry, however, reports that 1 was killed and 9 injured. The Israeli military says it has attacked some 120 targets in the Gaza Strip after hundreds of rockets and mortar shells were fired at southern Israel throughout the day, injuring 2 people, including an 80-year-old woman who was seriously injured after a rocket exploded. And Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Saturday instructed the army to deal a hard blow to terror groups in the Gaza Strip in response to the rocket fire. A senior Israeli official told Channel 13 News that there is growing understanding that there will not be an immediate return to calm on the southern border, with an expectation of at least 2 to 3 days of fighting. The army has warned it will expand strikes in the Gaza Strip if rocket fire from the enclave continues. So definitely a very dangerous situation what's happening in Israel right now. And I will continue to follow these reports and bring you updates. But speaking of Israel, I would like to bring you a quick update in regards to the peace plan. The Jerusalem Post is reporting that Jared Kushner stated on Thursday that he hopes Israel will take a hard look at President Trump's upcoming Middle East peace proposal before proceeding with any plan to annex West Bank settlements. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
There will be no peace, man. The spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is war. No peace. You got a lot. You stupid Israelite. You stupid Gentile. Man. I hate you, man. There won't be any peace.
Who has vowed that he would annex Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank in a move that would be bound to trigger condemnation from the Palestinians and the Arab world and complicate the U.S. peace effort. Kushner, speaking at a dinner of the Washington Institute for Near East Policy, said the Middle East peace proposal that he has been putting together was close to release, and that Israel and the Palestinians should wait to see it before making any unilateral moves. He said the issue would be discussed with the Israeli government when Netanyahu forms a governing coalition, stating that I hope both sides will take a real look at it, the Israeli side and the Palestinian side, before any unilateral steps are made. However, the Palestinians have refused to talk to the U.S. side since President Trump decided to move the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and declare Jerusalem the capital of Israel. The Palestinians want to establish a state in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip, all territory Israel captured in 1967. Kushner has stated, what we will be able to put together is a solution that we believe is a good starting point for the political issues, and then outline for what can be done to help these people start living a better life. I was given the assignment of trying to find a solution between the two sides, and I think what we'll put forward is a framework that I think is realistic. It's executable, and it's something that I do think will lead to both sides being much better off. Kushner has stated that the proposal is not an effort to impose U.S. will on the region. He has not said whether it calls for a two-state solution, a goal of past peace efforts, but on Thursday night he called on all critics to hold their fire until they are able to see the plan in its entirety. Apparently there are reports that the peace plan will be released sometime in June, so I will definitely continue to keep you updated. However, I would like to move on and talk about North Korea. Reuters is reporting that North Korea had fired several unidentified short-range projectiles into the sea off its coast on Saturday, prompting South Korea to call on its neighbor to stop acts that escalate military tension on the Korean peninsula. The South Korean military initially described it as a missile launch, but subsequently gave a more vague description. The latest firing came after the North's test of what it called a tactical guided weapon system in April. Analysts suspected the flurry of military activity by North Korea was an attempt to exert pressure on the United States to give ground in negotiations to end the North's nuclear program after a summit in February ended in failure. South Korea's presidency urged North Korea to refrain from further action, stating that we are concerned about the North's latest action.
So there won't be any peace, man. This is Ezekiel 20:47. And they say to the forest of the south, hear the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord God, behold, I will kindle a fire in thee, and it shall devour every green tree in thee. So he's talking about trees, he's talking about people, man. Yeah. And every dry tree is a flaming flame shall not be quenched, and all faces from the south to the north shall be burnt therein. And all flesh shall see that I am the Lord, and has kindled it. It shall not be quenched. Then said, the Lord. Then said, I, as the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, they say of me, does he not speak parables? So this fire have been kindled to you, heathen, will not be quenched, man. So prepare to get burned, man. And are you too sad of Israel?
We expect North Korea to actively join efforts toward the fast resumption of denuclearization talks. In a Twitter message on Saturday morning, President Donald Trump said he was still confident that he could reach a deal with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, tweeting that I believe that Kim Jong-un fully realizes the great economic potential of North Korea and will do nothing to interfere or end it. He also knows that I am with him and does not want to break his promise to me. Deal will happen. A senior research fellow at the Korea Defense and Security Forum described Saturday's action as an expression of the North's frustration, stating that it is a message that could return to the previous confrontational mode if there is no breakthrough in the stalemate. Finally, it reports that the South Korean military said it was conducting joint analysis with the United States of the latest launches. Experts say the projectiles appeared to come from multiple rocket launchers and were not ballistic missiles. But on Tuesday, North Korea's vice foreign minister warned that the United States would face undesired consequences if it fails to present a new position in denuclearization talks by the end of the year. On Friday, President Trump spoke with Russian President Putin by phone for about an hour, covering a range of topics at a time of heightened tensions between the two nations. President Trump himself later called it a long and very good conversation as the two discussed trade, Venezuela, Ukraine, North Korea, nuclear arms control, and even the Russian hoax. President Trump was of the opinion that long before the witch hunt started, getting along with Russia, China, and everyone is a good thing, not a bad thing. In a readout provided after Friday's call, the Kremlin stated that the heads of state expressed satisfaction with the conversation, which was businesslike and constructive. During the talk, common views were reached on North Korea and the need to intensify dialogue in various fields, including on issues of strategic stability. But on Venezuela, President Putin warned that attempts to change power by force undermine the prospects for a political settlement of the crisis. And Trump stated that President Putin is not looking at all to get involved in Venezuela other than he'd like to see something positive happen. And I feel the same way, stated the president. We want to get some humanitarian aid. Right now, people are starving. They have no water, and they have no food. Meanwhile, Pompeo called Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Wednesday to increase the pressure. Pompeo is expected to speak with Russian officials again next week, and senior administration officials are discussing what may be offered to entice President Putin to abandon Maduro, or at least get out of the way of the international effort to support Guaido. The senior administration official stated that at the end of the day, if we can come to terms with Russia and they fall back on their support for Maduro, that would be a huge deal. President Donald Trump and other top...
You see, this Edomite covers everything. Venezuela, North Korea, Middle East, Trump, Russia, Europe, everywhere. You can subscribe to this woman, and you'll get some news, man. Be a watchman. So when the time of trouble will still come, you won't be taken by surprise, man. You already know that this was coming.
Administration officials this week repeatedly said all options were under consideration, including military ones. There are several steps that can be taken short of ground troops, including covert operations and a naval blockade. The increased attention to military option for Venezuela, which has been defined, is raising concerns across Washington and the region. Some diplomats and former Trump officials spoke out against the use of unilateral force and argued it's time for a shift in strategy. Some Trump allies are pushing the administration to take stronger steps, including authorizing covert operations and psychological warfare. And in Venezuela, Maduro has repeatedly warned the United States against military involvement in the ongoing political crisis. The Venezuelan leader has called on the military to be ready in case the United States launches...
You see, I like going to the comment board to see this Edomite how they are afraid. You see, this Arden fought. There will be no peace in the Middle East. Their blessing is to war against each other. That from the Most High. At least this knows. Sister Dina, can you please give? I stand with Israel. Don't let anyone call a bar for have only one teacher. What is this? Is this they don't know scripture? Wipe them off the map, Israel. They belong to the Jordan. Damascus will totally destroyed soon. Bible prophecy. Yes, come to an agreement so we don't spend too much military weapon. Focus on bringing down healthcare cost is going to the point where I choose which is my prescribed medication. So this lesser Edomite have pissed you off, man. The conflict between Israel and Palestine are depending Western government power. If they lose their military and economic power, not only Israel and Palestine, but the whole world also got peace. No peace, man. Hamas is asking for it again in the name of the religion peace. If I don't look good between North Korea and China having missile to destroy satellite station. God bless Israel and Hara. Israel is God country, Jerusalem his capital. Deovidency, God will vindicate. Ha ha ha. This is I don't have a clue of what is coming. Man. I agree that the first image damage does not match the reported scope, size of the attack. Mm. So they think that this was hot. This was a first report. Mm. Israel should use missiles simultaneously to launching bases instead of sending fighters. This missile should use GPS and pinpoint the launch site. Oh, so are we going to believe the word of God that say one said of all mankind will die in this way involving Russia and Persia, Iran, Syria, and I don't know where he got that. That's not in the Bible, and they lie against is exactly Cushion. Israel Mossad their own of 666 range. That's madness. I hope the United States, Russia, and China can come together and no, that is not going to happen over a nuclear weapon. That may just be a turning point for the good of the world. Thank you for your video and just call for a long-term violence. Always afraid of their own shadow. Israel must change their military action with no, that Israel must destroy who God. The Western Bank and Gaza Strip is not occupied territory in the land of God. The Almighty gave to Israel settled forever and end of the matter. No. Hopefully the Palestinians will learn to aim their rocket better. It hardly worth the effort for only 2 kills. Israel must be banished from the earth.
An offensive on Venezuelan soil, telling his soldiers to be ready to defend the country with weapons in hand if one day the North American empire dares to touch this land, this sacred ground. The years-long political crisis in Venezuela reached a boiling point this week when Juan Guaido announced that he called the final push to oust Maduro. Guaido called on civilians and military on Tuesday to join his attempted coup, saying that he had the backing of the armed forces. Only a small amount of the military appeared to have heeded his call, and Nicolas Maduro the following day said the uprising had been a failure, pledging to resist the forces intent on submitting our country to a neo-colonial economic domination model and enslaving Venezuela. So some very interesting news there in regards to Venezuela. Hopefully there will not be any military confrontation. But as always, I will definitely continue to keep you updated. But I do have one last report I'd like to bring to you. RT News is reporting that China is interested in joining a nuclear pact with the United States and Russia to reduce the number of nuclear warheads. President Trump stated that we're talking about a nuclear agreement where we make less and they make less, and maybe even get rid of the tremendous firepower we have right now. He and President Putin discussed a possibility of making it a three-way deal with China, adding that Beijing would very much like to be a part of the deal. He had brought up the topic in the ongoing trade talks with the Chinese, and they were more excited about it than about the trade. Earlier this month, in a meeting with Chinese trade envoy, Trump bemoaned the levels of military spending by major powers, suggesting all that money could be better spent on other things. He also said at the time, I think it's much better if we all got together and we didn't make these weapons. So definitely some very positive news there. But only if the US, Russia, and China can come together and agree. But I guess only time will tell. But with that said, I'd love to hear from all of you. So please do leave your comments in the comment section and share your thoughts about what's happening.
Shalom, shalom, bless. I hope the lesson was edifying. Until next time. Much love from Central Africa. Oh, my Yakiam. Keep pushing, man. We are almost out of here, man.